This is an interview with Garth Long. Garth works for McAfee in Cork, Ireland, and has been an alt user for about 3 months.
My name's Garth Long. I'm in Cork, Ireland, and I'm employed with McAfee. McAfee are part of the Intel. We're a huge worldwide security company. And I have a strange role. I caretake the rest of Africa from a channel perspective. Although I did start at McAfee in 2010 as an inside salesperson, so I'm possibly now doing the seeding of the market for the sales side. I look after 24 countries, and I have over 750 partners who I communicate with.
Thanks, Garth. What are the common products you use on your computer on a daily basis?
I use most of the Microsoft Office suites, live messaging. I go in and out of the stereotype Microsoft products all day. That would be PowerPoint, Microsoft Outlook. I use Word quite a lot because sometimes I use Word to inflate my Outlook. And then, of course, Microsoft Excel. But we have our own standard CRM, Customer Relations Manager. It's an Oracle-based product, and it's their new offering. It's called Insight on Demand, or to the public that buy it as Oracle on Demand. A minefield as well.
Garth, can you describe your working environment before Alt was introduced?
My employers took me on thinking that when they heard screen reader, that the blind person would just have something, they would read everything that was ever on a screen that a sighted person would see. They wouldn't know that I'd be using my computer on a keyboard fashion, so that would exclude any of the mouse options. Okay, now, as you know, that's quite well and good when you're working this side of the HTML on the Microsoft products, which I coped with well with. But going back into 2009, 2010, when I was negotiating with them, I never had a trial run on any of the enterprise products. And their main one was an Oracle one, and it was an old Oracle. It was a hybrid with a Siebel, and it was dangerous. Even today, there are certain areas that it doesn't even talk to JAWS, even if you try to do scripting or you do any Visual Basic scripts on. So what actually happened, there was a huge letdown. I found that I was seriously stressed because how do I go further? How do I make a great impression as a blind employer, hoping this huge multinational would see things positively, and throughout the 6 geo regions worldwide, employing 6,000 people, ever consider looking at any other blind person if their main product here is not really offering something positive. So I had to be very mature in handling a lot of these problems, and we've got mature people at McAfee, so that was resolved.
Were we able to assist you in any way in promoting or advancing the understanding of your starting concerns with your management?
Definitely, and it's ironical. It's almost a year ago this August that I got hold of you, Rob, and I first heard your interview on the net. I was distressed one afternoon, and I had a bit of time, and I was looking for access sort of products that would launch me across this gap. And fortunately, I came across your product, and my views of your product were also skewed. I was looking for an instant solution, magic one solution.
Garth, how are you using Alt now?
Okay, you see, what Alt does for me daily, Alt takes away a lot of areas where I could make a mistake. And that's part of, I'm a total blind person, so I wouldn't notice that I have a whole lot of dialog box open. Today I'm bouncing in and out of a work, an email, a normal document, a Word document, and I'm going into an Excel program, and then I'm going into Outlook, then I'm going back into PowerPoint. I might not do the, Alt F4 command properly. I might not run through that. So I might leave 4 or 5 dialog boxes, and suddenly it says to me, can't go there, too many dialog boxes. Now if I've got Alt on my desk, Alt works with a few very cryptic commands that I give it. O for Outlook. No matter how often I push O, I don't open dialog boxes that interfere with JAWS or with Microsoft, you see. And I think that's enormously practical because your sighted colleagues could see you've got these dialog boxes open, and they might have a skewed view of what your competency is, but it's purely a visual thing.
Have you noticed a reduction in JAWS voicing with your use of Alt?
Exactly. You know, you can get to a stage where you have a lot of audio fatigue from the JAWS giving you too much, and we've cut out a lot of that. And the longer you work, especially when you're total, you might be a very accurate typist or keyboard person, but when you are fatigued, when you're under stress, and when there's certain pressure points in your life, you're going to make errors. We all make those errors. So Alt helps me to cope with that huge redundancy of commands and jobs that I'm doing all the time. Now, those, after a while, do tire you. You know, it's like running a marathon. Eventually, the kilometers do catch up with you.
Would you consider Alt as an accelerator for your work?
Definitely. Alt is one of my biggest tools I've got at the moment. And in fact, Alt also gives me a psychological edge. And I think that is the big win. You know, that I know with my old product, I know what I can do. I know I've scoped certain things. I know it's not unfamiliar turf to me. And I think that's where blind people definitely are slightly slower, slightly more cautious. And look, I'm just being brutally frank and brutally honest. You're going to get a lot of blind people with huge egos on their competency. Now, well and good. I don't mind that, but I don't have that. My job is to sell. I've got to perform. I don't want to get trapped spending time making computer errors.
Do you think that Alt, now that you have it and you've been using it now for 3 or 4 months, do you think that's been a conversation changer for you?
Definitely. I used to have QBRs, which are quarterly business reviews with senior vice presidents, 3 RDs, and my current director, and I was able to go through huge amount of figures and very tactical spreadsheets because I had scoped them before with Alt. So that left such a positive impression. You can't believe it compared to the 2010 experience I was talking about.
My last question, Garth, is would you recommend Alt to other computer workers?
Oh, definitely I have. I continuously. And funny enough, I don't think Alt is necessarily just a sighted tool, a blind tool. I think a sighted person could really use it if they were creative enough, you know. And I think it has a lot of pluses. But sadly enough, I don't think they have the keyboard skill that blind people have. They take a lot of shortcuts from the graphic user side of it and also using the mouse. You know.